Hello, yeah, good morning. It is 3:30 in the morning. Um, and I'm going to be going over for myself to heal and process because in order to heal and process things, it needs to be done out loud. Um, and it needs to be done with another person or a video so that you could watch it back. Um, I feel like the best is with another person but it needs to be someone that cares about you. I am completely, yes, I would prefer to have someone that cares about me, but with everything I'm going through, first off, it takes time to grow. You know that I don't have anyone in my family that cares and that is able because my younger siblings are my younger siblings. They're going through a lot of the same things that I'm going through and don't realize that they're going through those things. So I have to heal. Um, and also, for those, if you watch this video, so you understand, I'm retired, been retired since I was 21 or 23. I don't even remember when I retired. I don't need any money or anything from anybody. I've never asked for money. I not trying to get sympathy from no because I could as a Scorpio could give zero fucks, like not even being rude could shove that up your ass. The not looking for that for anybody was never the thing. These videos were always for me to heal, but then the way people interacted when I realized, because I first off I didn't even think nobody was watching my videos. These videos were for me to heal. How people reacted, like, oh, she just want this and that. Fuck y'all. Anybody that feel like that was never the point of these videos. These videos were for me to heal because while I was in the world, everybody, we don't want you around, you this, you that. Don't nobody, you always talk about something bad happen to you. Don't that much bad stuff happen to nobody. So, okay, fine. Go in my own world, making videos for myself to heal because I do need love. I need someone. I need to process these things. And then y'all come do the same thing. Oh, she just, fuck y'all. Okay? Big fuck y'all. Don't give a fuck. These videos is not looking for no sympathy, nothing like that. Living my life. Also, when you don't, also been being gang stalked. I'm going through the abuse and then I'm trying to get over the abuse so that I can heal and constantly being gang stalked and abused because my granddad was a Freemason and sold us. So that now I'm being silently stalked by people in the government that as I'm healing randomly break in, assault me all over again and like I can't fucking tell nobody. So um these videos are for me. These videos are for my healing. I don't need anything, don't want anything from anybody. I did love someone, was wanted to build a relationship with them. That's over. These videos are for my healing. So with that being said, um, today I'm going over processing more of my childhood, um, and making sense of it as an adult. Um, so yeah, so something I was that was on my mind today, and people make me feel this way. In my heart, I have peace. You guys piss me off with your dumb way of thinking. Um, in my heart, I have peace. Last year, I was going off a lot because I cared about someone. I let someone in my heart, and they was doing me all kind of sleazy, dirty, and trying to put me beneath them, and that's not me. And so I was fighting myself to let go of this person that was in my heart that was treating me like shit. So now let go of her. Um, and I am not going through that in my heart. I have peace. I have peace in my heart. Um, I do go through things from being isolated and lonely. Um, the way I was last year, people don't know me and can want to say that's my personality, but I'm about to be, I'm in my 30s. And if that 1 year everybody been provoking me my whole life while I was a sweet, loving, caring child, sweet, loving, caring person, sweet, loving, caring teenager, sweet, loving, caring adult. And then I finally break because of all the bullshit being raped and abused in front of my mom. My mom being raped and abused in front of me. my entire life long. And then I snap when I escape the domestic violence, homeschooling, raising my child, and a whole squad of Blue Life gang members break in, physically and sexually assault me in front of my child. And then I snap. And then, oh, that's her person. Fuck y'all. Y'all don't know me. Anyways, um, and I did not used to talk like this. I used to be a very sweet person. Raped and abused me, almost murdered me in front of my 6-year-old child. Fuck y'all. So, anyways, piecing my life back together, understanding boundary issues. Because one day came home from school, and we weren't living at my granddad's property anymore. We were living at James Schultz's property, which was my granddad's friend. Now I understand that my granddad sold us to that property to be sexually abused. And that's what happened. I went to go make my first friend. My dad seen me and said, I'm going to have sex with you before anybody else do. Now that tells me he knew. He knew it was about to happen. So piecing that together. My dad is indigenous Indian. My mom's dad, prior family bloodline prior slaves. He went to the merchant marines in his teenage years with his older brother, Raphael. And they started, when they got out, they started their own electrician business, moved to California, bought land. He somehow became a Freemason, got involved with the CIA, sex trafficked his children and grandchildren to the government and his other military friends. James Schultz was also military, and owned land. And they were involved with bringing down the Black community. And so my grandma is my granddad's second or third wife, and I believe he married her for the sole purpose of his contract with the military to sex traffic his children and grandchildren. My grandma is 30 years younger than my granddad. He murdered her and got away with it because he's a Freemason. He has a doctor's notice for the time of her murder that he set her up, which shows the level of the involvement. So we were at that property. Oh yeah. So my dad, prior to this, we were walking on the land, and this shows also that they're surveilling us. I don't know why I feel like they intentionally traumatized me. I was walking to the back gate with my dad. I don't know where we were going. And this fat white lady with a mullet, police, jumped out the car and started assaulting my dad and arrested him. But she had no reason to assault him. My dad is a simp, and was a simp and a crybaby. He was not a fighter at all. He used to always get his ass beat by women. I'm so glad I'm not a son, because I was and so ashamed of my dad that he got his ass beat by every woman, including me, because he tried to rape me, and I got tired of it, and I started fighting back. And ever since then, it's beating his ass too. But that was actually a prayer. I prayed that he got his ass beat by women, and then he started getting his ass beat by women. A woman hit him in his head with a crowbar. Yeah. He started getting his ass beat when I prayed for it. And I prayed for that silently in my heart because he was raping me. But that was also, as a child, that was so hard. I was so glad I'm not a son, because everybody looking at me like, And I did get bullied, but I fought all my bullies to where I was called a bully, but I don't bully nobody. As a child, I ain't bullied nobody. Now, since being physically and sexually assaulted in front of my daughter, I don't know. I don't know if I've been a bully, but I definitely been on an anger tangent. Um, but so that happened. Um, that happened multiple times. My dad and my uncle, but so I'm assuming when he was in jail, they did him like they did me when they physically and sexually assaulted me in front of my child, and then took me to jail, and then gang stalked me, trying to scare me into being submissive, or they're going to sexually abuse my child, which is why I've been on this anger tangent. That if you guys have been seeing me online, which is why I've been on this anger tangent, which is I feel like they did to my dad. But his bitch ass got out of jail and said, I'm gonna fuck you before anybody else do. Dumbass bitch. But anyways, that happened. And then we started getting drugged and raped. Um, and for my mom, that must have been very devastating for her because when I was 3 years old and probably younger, she used to tell me. She used to always sit there and cry and tell me about her life. And so I know that when my mom was 3, she started getting raped in the bed with her mom and her younger sister. And she didn't understand why her mom wouldn't move and why her mom didn't do anything. So now here my mom is an adult. My granddad's birthday had passed because my mom, she took us all. We went and got my granddad a tool set. My mom got my granddad a tool bag, and she let me and my sister pick him tools because my granddad's an electrician. And then my aunt, she bought him a dildo, a big dick. And my mom's making fun of my aunt, like, what kind of daughter are you? You're weird. Who buys, their dad a dildo? My aunt was my granddad's favorite, which my mom thinks. I was my aunt's sex slave, so I also know her secrets and stuff. And so she was my granddad's sex slave. Um, so that's why my aunts, all of my mom's sisters cut my aunt off because she was the only one favorited by my granddad, and they were getting drugged and raped with their mom. Even my grandma hated my aunt, which is crazy, which is weird. My grandma my aunt is a split image of my grandma. I'm a split image of my aunt, which is very weird. Um, so then my aunt blackmailed my granddad into buying her first property, her first land, and then we came home and we were no longer living on my granddad's property. He sold us to that his friend's property, whatever. Um, and then we started being drugged and abused. This guy named Gary, this fat guy named Gary, um, was yelling at my mom in front of us, talking about she owed him a lighter, a lighter, because my mom has a problem with stealing lighters. If you let her borrow your lighter, you're not getting it back. So he's saying that she owed him a lighter. And then she's like, I don't know, I don't remember where it was going. You get your lighter back, whatever. And he was like, no, you need to give it to me now, whatever. And she was like, I don't got it. And he was like, well, you gonna need to get it. Well, you need to pay me a lighter, like a fucking dollar guy. And then he's like, I don't got no money right now. She's like, well, you gonna have to give me something. And then he rushed my mom and carried her and started raping her on the couch. And me and my sister, I'm 6, my sister's 4, and then her friend, this little white girl. I'm not racist. I've been on this. I could not help. I've been on this tangent talking about fuck white people because I was physically and sexually assaulted in front of my 6-year-old child by a white bastard. If that happened to any of y'all would be doing the same thing. I have a godchild that's white. My child is part white because their dad, even though that he's dark skinned, is white. He's a descendant of Captain Cook. Um, so I've never hated white people. I was physically and sexually assaulted in front of my child and have not seen her since that day over 3 years ago. So yeah, I've been on a tangent because you're not gonna sit up. And that's where they thought because I was always a kind person. I was physically and sexually assaulted in front of my mother. And then you guys think that you're gonna track me down and do the same thing in front of my child on your deathbed. But anyways, so we are witnessing this, and so we jump on the man. I'm choking him out. My sister is on the side punching him, and this little girl Beatrice, she got a full top and bottom set of metal teeth. She locked on this nigga back. And he ran out the house. We was praying, trying to get this man up off my mom. But they came back that night and drugged us and abused us. And my mom was reporting it. And they started saying that she was crazy, trying to put her in mental wards and stuff. Shortly after that is when Hillary Clinton got involved. I don't know, or involved where she tried to kidnap me. I don't know how far she was involved before that. But my mom, the point of this, what I'm trying to heal from is my boundaries with my body because I didn't understand what was going on. My dad this is a lot for me. I'm in kindergarten. First off, I got raped by my best friend's brother. And I'm a kid. That was the first time I was already being abused, but I was a child. They picked me up. They did what they did with me. I had no idea what was going on. I never seen their body part. I just felt something in my body part. Didn't understand what was going on. That was the first time I seen a penis. Well, no, it wasn't even the first time, but it was the first time it was threatening me because my dad got up one time and tried to throw my mom out the house, and then I seen it swinging, but I didn't know what the fuck it was. It wasn't a threat to me. But got abused by my best friend's brother. And he was trying to put that shit in me. And I didn't know. First off, I thought, because I was watching Dragon Ball Z and I seen Cell. So I thought this shit was about to super extend and eat my whole body. I thought this was the last of me. So, like, going through processing that shit, trying to figure out what the fuck happened. And now I'm going to go make another friend because I think that was the last time I went to her. That was the last time I went to her house because that was the day that her dad got murdered. Her mom left us for an emergency and left him in charge. So that was the day she went because her husband got murdered. So I hadn't seen my best friend since that day. And we're in kindergarten. And so my dad was in jail, had just got out of jail. I'm going to go make my first friend. My first friend by myself because my best friend, my cousin Jatara, made her that friend for me because I was scared. Because first off, I didn't know. I was already gay in kindergarten, but I didn't understand. I did not understand. I had got bit in my foot by an ant, missed 11 days of school, came back. My friend pod was split up, and they was telling me I got to pick a person. I picked this girl. I think her name is Dejanay. I'm not sure. And they were like, no, you got to pick a boy. And I was like, I don't want to pick a boy. I want to pick her. And it was like, you got to pick a boy because y'all got to hold hands. I was like, yeah, I would like to hold her hand. Y'all got to hug. Okay, yeah, I would like to hug her. Y'all got to kiss. Yeah, her. And then they start making fun of me. And ever since then, every time I made a friend, they would whisper something to them and they would stop talking to me. I did not know why. I did not understand as an adult, put it together. They were saying I was gay. Probably something along them lines. So, I couldn't make friends because every time I make a friend, they would take my friend. So when she came to school, she was a new girl. I asked my cousin to ask her to be my friend. And so that's how she became my friend. Gave her a fruit roll up. And yep. So that's how she became my friend. But I was making my own friend. And then also I was mad at her because her brother raped me. And so I was mad at her for some reason. I don't know. I was 5. I didn't know how to process all that. So I was going to go make my first friend. And here my dad come talking about he got to have sex with me before anybody else do. Then we started getting raped a lot. They start drugging my mom. My mom's reporting it. Nobody's helping her. Nobody's believing her. Everybody on her help system is against her. Her dad is against her. Her friends are against her. Her sisters are against her. And that's the reason why I am the way I am. Because I seen the way everybody did my mom. And my mom took it out on me. Like everybody else doing you dirty and then you're gonna do like anyways. But I used to love my mom a lot. Um so then we got kidnapped by my dad and I was being sexually abused by my dad's girlfriend, who also tried to poison and kill me multiple times, at least 3 times or more. Definitely 3 times, possibly more. And thankfully, I didn't die. Um, and my mom, this lady was big, 6 foot woman, was taller than my dad, and my dad is tall. My mom's like 4 foot something. They tried to kill my mom. So my mom is sitting there crying while I wake up to being sexually abused by my dad's girlfriend. And so nothing that happened, my mom ever explained to us. And everything just made my mom hate me more. So then when we ended up moving later to Highway 74, which is Mr. Franklin's property, my granddad's other friend, and it's crazy that situation, how we got there. And that tells me how even more the county and everything else was in on it. But how that was set up, not going to get into that today, but ended up at Mr. Franklin's, my granddad's other military friend, by Christine, who was basically my mom's handler and pimp, who pretended to be a mother and friend to my mom because my mom's mom was murdered when she was 12. So my mom was always looking for a mom in somebody. My mom was always looking for a mom in somebody. Um, and they took away my mom's, they said my mom was mentally not an adult, all because she kept reporting our rape and being drugged, and like they were like, that's unbelievable or whatever. So they took away her rights, put us with my aunt. That's when Hillary Clinton tried to kidnap me. um and my aunt was sexually abusing us. My uncle was sexually abusing us. Not going to get into all of that. um and everybody knew about it. Everybody knew about it. um we were skipped at Mr. Franklin's. Um, Christine, who was drugging and sex trafficking my mom. The point is my body perceptions. Okay, so my mom never explained anything because I'm getting inside the head of my mom now. She was physically and sexually abused in front of her mom. Her dad didn't like her because my granddad is also very sexist. Um, she was physically and sexually abused in front of her mom. She didn't understand her life. She's telling everybody, everybody's against her. They didn't took away her mental rights as an adult and said she's mentally a child. My mom is very, very, very intelligent. Um, and so she's utterly helpless. Everyone keeps trying to get her to sell me to them to be their wife and some more stuff. And she's fighting everything while being drugged and trafficked. But she's hating me. It hurts her to look at. I've been dead to my mom for so long by that time. My mom and my siblings sleep in one room. I sleep in another room by myself. And then there's another guest room, which I later moved into. because my mom brought her best friend and their son and put him in the room with me, and he started raping me. And then I asked to move rooms, but then he asked to move room too. And then my mom let him move rooms with me. I didn't know how to tell what was going on. I thought I was free by moving rooms. But anyways, then that didn't stop until they moved out, which was a whole year later. But my mom, she used to do these checks. She used to check our whole body. And she would search our vagina. And then, but when we had to go to the doctors, they did the same thing when the rape was reported. And so I'm trying to figure out. So I'm piecing together now in my mind. So my mom, she just tried to play it off like none of that stuff happened, and it was just like a body inspection or something. Cause then I'm thinking like my mom can't be raping me, like um, and she wasn't. She was a coward. I mean, she wasn't a coward. She was fighting, and just nobody was believing her. They put her in a mental ward. They took away her rights. Um, Everybody was just against her. But she never told me what was going on. Nothing. She tried to intentionally keep me because she also cares more about her reputation. She wants to be a good mom. And all of these things made her, she feels like, not a good mom. So she did not want us to understand what happened. So she tried to intentionally keep us dumb, which in doing that severely messed up my body boundaries because I could not tell what was sexual and what was not. And that's something that I've been addressing since it's been brought to my attention over 10 years ago. I really have time displacement. It does not feel like 10 years. Over 10 years ago. Um, and so that's something, and that's a like, well, that's that's what I was trying to get off for today, because it plays in my head sometimes, but then it goes away. So I had to capture this and get it out so now I can watch it back and process it and actually do steps to change and work on it. These videos are for me. Don't want anything, don't need anything from anybody. Unless you're trying to join us for Campaya sports tournaments and you're going to participate in that. Other than that, don't need nothing from y'all.